Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, and by it he obtained righteousness, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he, being dead, yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, for God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek after him. By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, and by it condemned the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith he sojourned in the land of promises in a strange country, dwelling in by faith Abraham, when he was called out into a country that he would afterward receive an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing where he went. For he sojourned in the land of promises in a strange country, dwelling in tents and tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, of whom were heirs with him in the same promise. For he looked for a city that has foundations, whose maker and builder was God. Through faith also Sarah, when she had received strength to conceive a seed, was delivered of a child when she was past the age, for she judged him faithful who had promised her, and therefore sprang there as good as one, and he as good as dead. So many as the stars in the sky in multitude, are the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. For all these, having a good report through faith, did not receive the promise, but had they might have had an opportunity to have returned, but now they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly one. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared for them a city. By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, so that he which had received the promise offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was written, In Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him, even from the dead, from whence also he had received him in a figure. By faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith Jacob blessed both the sons of Joseph, who worshipped, laying upon the top of the staff. By faith Joseph made mention of the departing of the children of Israel from Egypt, and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith Moses, when he was a child, was hid of his parents 3 months, for they saw that he was a proper child, and they did not fear the commandment of the king. By faith, when Moses had come to years, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to endure the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ of more riches than all the treasure that was in Egypt. He had respect unto the recompense of the reward. For he endured, as seeing him who is invisible. And by faith Moses kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they walked across the Red Sea as by dry land, when the Egyptians, assaying to do, were drowned. By faith the harlot Rahab, the walls of Jericho fell down after being compassed about for 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab did not perish with those that believed not, after receiving the spies in peace. And what more shall I say? The time would fail me to speak of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David also, Samuel, and the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead, raised to life again. Others endured cruel mockings and scourgings, yet more were bonds and imprisonment. They endured They wandered about in sheepskins and in goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, and tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They lived in dens and mountains and caves of the earth. And all these, having received a good report through faith, received not the promises, God having provided something better for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. Wherefore, seeing that we also are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race which is set before us, looking unto Yeshua HaMashiach, who is the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is right now at the right hand of God in heaven. And consider him which endured such a contradiction of sinners against himself, unless you become tired in your mind and faint in your minds.